Well, before we launch into another World Windsurfing Tour, let's have a look at last year's rankings for the men and women.
Hi, I'm Anders Springdahl, and any minute now you'll see me in action with my Tiga board and Nil Pride sails. Just answer the question in the end of the program and one out of 2 boards and sails could be yours. Not bad, huh?
A 3-month break after the Aloha Classic in Hawaii at the tail of '89, and for many of the top sellers, this was the first competitive gathering of the year. Based near Hyères in the south of France, the Peter Stuyvesant Travel Pro World Cup is the first street discipline event of the new season, with $120,000 in prize money on offer. Nathalie Lelièvre, the homegrown talent and 5-time world champion, retired from the full world tour last year, and that's left the ladies section wide open for the likes of Britt Donkerbeck, Nathalie Simon and Angela Cochrane, all potential champions for 1990. On the men's side, Björn Donkerbeck is looking for a third successive overall world title, while Robbie Nash is back on the scene. But don't discount Sweden's Anders Springdahl, who is looking for that elusive first place. So to battle on straight into the course, racing over the first few days. Although the winds were fairly light on the first day, they rose to 20 knots by day 2, a little more than expected by most of the racers. Here's the reigning champion and winner of last year's event, Björn Donkerbeck, an almost perfect dive for a man in form.
Yeah, I'm very happy because this light wind is usually not what I'm good in. I prefer more wind. So I'm very happy that my new board and my new sails work the way they work.
It was tough in the ladies group, but the female half of the Donkerberg duo was chasing hard in this event. However, the strong winds proved a little too much for her, forcing her down into 8th place. Angela Cochrane took the initiative and swept to her first course race victory. Next day, the action increased, with winds reaching 40 knots in the afternoon, setting the stage for 2 sensational rounds of slalom. Almost predictably, slalom world champion Donkerberg won the first slalom final with some ease over Springdahl and McGain. Babette Coquel from France fell while leading the women's final. Britt Donkerberg made a mistake and allowed Babette Coquel from France and McGain.
Sir and I moved further and further in front of them, and I don't know who is second.
In the next final, a few hours later, there was a surprise in store for the Dutch girl Herma de Jong. De Jong is one of the smallest racers on the PBA Tour and is very much in form. The 20-year-old fended off Donkerbeck and Sibyl to score her first major slalom success. With winds now so strong that surviving was almost all that mattered, the men's second final was set to roll.
Have fun, you know, that's the #1 goal, is to have fun. I see a lot of young people around and their goal is to become a professional. And the goal is to make money windsurfing, and somehow it's wrong, you know. The really good guys in the world mostly started just windsurfing for fun. And the money and everything comes afterwards.
Waves knocked Donkerbeck clean off his board and allowed Frenchman Raphael Sal to find a way through the choppy seas and take the round.
I never, ever sail in this much wind, so it's something completely new to me. There's not many places in the world that blow like this very often. The smallest sail that I ever used at home is 5.7 on a slalom board. So 3.9 is very different.
Coming up soon in the program, the final part of Almanarre 1990, including...
I try to be a good example whenever possible, because I know there's always people watching, you know, everything we do and wherever we go, and not only an example on the water, you know, but they're always watching us when we're on the beach as well. So you have to be careful, you know, because it's important, you know, what people think of you. I think it's better to be in a bit in the spotlight than not to be in the spotlight. You know, I prefer to do this than to be on the other side of the fence, maybe.
Back to the competition then, and the final event, the spectacular freestyle wave section. Anything goes here as long as it's creative, varied and exciting. For America's Robbie Nash, it's freestyle heaven. He's been long recognized as the master of any wave conditions. In the quarter-final rounds, two Swedish and two Spanish sailors faced each other, with Mattias Holmberg overcoming compatriot Anders Bringdahl and Dunkerbeck scoring an easy win over Stefan Etienne. There were also wins for Nash and Italy's Cesare Cantagalli.
Someone shot back, you soon turn back. It happens time and time again. Never seem to reach the end. Someone's out there on the street tonight. Things go wrong, you'll guarantee.
I don't know, it's like hitting an oncoming car and just projecting over it or something.
What kind of qualification you need to be a Top Gun?
Very little brains. I don't know, go jump off your roof sometime. It's like that. It's good fun. Yeah, I mean, you're always moving your sail and moving your board a little bit, you know, to make your rig do different things. The biggest problem that we have is the variable of the wind, you know, it's always different. Sometimes, you know, you get a perfect setup once a day to do a certain trick and you don't get the conditions for it, you know, perfect for maybe 3 or 4 hours, you know, and you were sailing the whole time. So that's our biggest problem in windsurfing, is the variable.
Well, it's beautiful. It's like you're flying in the air, and it's amazing that we got to a stage where we can control so nicely, and we can really be aware of where we are in that split moment and enjoy it so much.
The final between Nash and Dunkerbeck was an explosive affair. Each matched the other for moves, with high jumps, perfectly landed forward rolls and aggressive determination. Dunkerbeck threw himself into it, but the American was too strong. It was his round and Robbie Nash was the victor. In the losers final, Holmberg beat Cantagalli, although he needed stitches in his mouth after the event.
More and more we choose the easy way. We take no risks, we figure out.
Robbie Nash is still regarded as the finest freestyler ever.
You face a wall of fear.
Robinette is still the freestyle king. The old man of windsurfing is still fighting.
Voilà les 4 meilleurs de cette superbe journée de vagues. Que l'on retrouvera.
But the Donkerbecks had their say.
Well, I do train all the day and every day if I can, and I'm on Mary a lot of times, and if not, I'm at home, which is the Canary Islands, and I'm always in a place where I can windsurf, which is a good thing for me. So I go home and I train. A lot of other people go home and they just do nothing.
A world away, but only 2 hours drive from Almanarre, is Sainte-Marie-de-la-Mer. Pascal Maka was celebrating a new world sailing speed record. His speed of 42.91 knots, that's an incredible 49 miles per hour, makes Maka the fastest man ever on a windsurfer.
Rides from coast to coast, DJ's the man we love the most. Could you be squeaky clean, smashing the hope of democracy is the headline. Says you're free to choose, there's egg on your beat.